Weird. It's throwing me off. All right, so the next version of axonometric drawing is what we call a true axonometric, where it actually, what we would do is we would draw, we're going to see the cube from the front edge, and what I'm going to start by just drawing that front edge. And again, I'm going to draw dark, a little darker than I normally would, so that it shows up. And then what we do is we've got, again, a little light line here. This time we're seeing both sides of the cube at a 30-degree angle. So instead of just seeing one side flat, like an oblique, we're going to see both edges. So now from the point, I'm going to come out 30 degrees. We're going to keep it kind of light to start with to get proportions as close as we can. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to just darken it up a little bit with just the HB. And again, here we've got that 30-degree angle on both sides. Sometimes obliques, when you see one flat side, they look a little bit wacky. And I think sometimes, for me personally, I tend to like the axonometrics a little bit better because I think it's a little more representative of how we see an object. When you look at this cube, you don't see one side of it perfectly square to your field of vision. It's a little bit more challenging. So, yeah, take a minute. Keep doing that. How's that working?
Actually, the hardest part is from the paper straight.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. It is. And so that's a great point. The hard part is keeping the paper straight. Feel free to turn the paper. You guys can turn your paper. Because I'm recording it, I'm trying to keep my paper straight. I never draw with a straight piece of paper. Move the paper. I think you'll find that your hand moves in one way really conveniently and not in the other way. So move the paper to make sure your hand is kind of moving into you. I mean, typically, if you're right-handed, your hand's moving away from your body a lot easier. How about line weights? Does this thing look like a awesome drawing? Not really, right? We could make it look better. Here's where we can start making things look better. So we can actually start to come back in. I'm going to use a heavier pencil. And what we want to do, one of the first rules of line weights is we want to separate the object from the page. We're trying to create some depth for it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a much darker line around the outside edge of the object. And now all of a sudden, like, you can really see the cube. It looks like it has a little more volume, a little more depth. It's starting to now kind of jump off of the page just a little bit.